It sounds like science fiction, but human organs are being grown in a laboratory in downtown Winston-Salem. Jasmine Mims from Atkins Technology High School is reporting from the Piedmont Triad Research Park. Jasmine, is it true that these organs have actually been implanted in teenagers with failing bladders?
Yes, it is, Nokomis. The new bladder has changed their lives. Dr. Tony Atala from Wake Forest Institute for Regenerative Medicine explains why this work is so important.
There is nothing more devastating for a surgeon in need than not having an organ for a patient who needs it. In the U.S., we're only able to meet 15% of the need for donor organs.
We asked Dr. George Christ to explain what regenerative medicine is.
We work at the Institute for Regenerative Medicine at Wake Forest University School of Medicine. Our mission is to develop the science necessary to grow the needed organs in a laboratory.
To better understand how organs are developed, let's take a look at a story CNN's Sanjay Gupta did on Dr. Atala.
Researchers say they have grown entirely new organs from the cells of patients.
Caitlin's bladder was the size of a thimble and could not sustain normal amounts of fluid, causing major damage to her kidney. Dr. Anthony Atala, a urologist at Wake Forest University, believed creating an entirely new bladder using her own cells. So how does it work? Well, a small piece, less than the size of a postage stamp, is taken from the patient's bladder. Both muscle and bladder cells are teased out from that piece of the bladder and grown in a petri dish. When there are a sufficient number of cells, they're layered onto a three-dimensional mold, shaped like a bladder, and they're allowed to grow. Several weeks later, the cells have produced a newly engineered bladder, which is implanted into the patient. Several more weeks later, the new bladder has grown fully inside the body and can function on its own. All 7 patients who underwent the procedure, including Caitlin, report dramatic improvements. Dr. Sanjay Gupta, CNN, reporting.
You seem to have employees from around the world.
That is correct. Unfortunately, the United States is not producing enough scientists, so we are forced to recruit from around the globe. These are high-paying jobs that offer the chance to significantly change the world we live in. But in order to change our world, you simply must have a passion for science and math. We have laboratory technicians in the lab with 2-year degrees in biotechnology from Forsyth Tech. There are also people with 4-year degrees, masters, PhDs, medical doctors. In our lab, you'll find almost every kind of scientist you can imagine.
Why is all this education important?
At our new Soldiers Institute, we're learning how to regrow arms, legs, ears that soldiers have lost in battle. That requires knowing how to grow bones, muscle, tendons, blood vessels, skin, and cartilage. To do that, we'll take a team of hundreds of people with very specialized scientific knowledge.
This is Jasmine Mims reporting for Making a Difference from the Wake Forest Institute for Regenerative Medicine.